Hey, what's up everyone? If you're playing the game of life today, that means you are alive. It also means that you are consciousness that is peeking into this structure that we call life from outside space and time. My name is Jovan, this is Avatar Academy. I'm talking all about enlightenment, quantum shifting, and today I'm going to talk about Kundalini and how you can go a little bit bonkers with this life force being alive within you. So to begin with, join me in the presence of the space. There is depth here, and your awareness is streamlining itself into depth. So you experience objects like your body, your thoughts, your emotions, the external world timeline, and the objects all within your awareness. Objects are made of life force, or they are simply sensations in your awareness, including your body, which is a construct and architecture and sensation within the awareness. You, as consciousness, are outside of this space-time construct. You're outside of this bubble. You're projecting the awareness inside of the bubble. You are immersed into a first-person experience. Now, have you ever experienced yourself without body? Have you ever experienced yourself not outside of the body, but without the life construct? I have a meditation on my channel, which I link in the description of these videos, where you can go and do that for reference, so we don't have to be like this guy is talking some woo-woo stuff. Okay, assuming that we feel the depth of space in which the awareness is projected, the body, mind, stuff, this video, everything is contained inside of the awareness. Now, what is the stuff made of? It's made of space and energy. Space is sort of inverted energy. Emptiness is sort of inverted electricity. It's also called magnetism. It can also be called vacuum or dark energy. Space is actually full of your awareness, and it's full of potential energy, but it's showing up on the screen of reality as dark pixels, so like you don't see stuff, it's empty space. When there is things arising in space, they are made of positive oriented space pixels, which we call energy or life force. Now, truth be told, the negative space and the positive energy are both same screen that is appearing inside of your awareness. So if you're into magic, you need to understand that these two polarities are actually not, they're distinctive when we talk about them in the mental discourse. They're actually the same. So to know yourself outside of space and energy, or to know yourself as space and energy, you have to stop interfacing with the reality appearance with your linguistic mind that is always contextualizing subject-object relationships, like this is me as this body avatar, and this is my painting, and this is my light, and this is my beard, and this is my head. So within this context of thoughts, we are immersed in the appearance of reality. Now, this appearance of reality happens when you do not interact with it. Now, about meditation. I know a lot of people have been doing Vipassana retreats. And if you don't know what Vipassana retreat is, it's like something that Buddha, okay, that's an elephant Buddha, but let's say this Buddha or that Buddha, some Buddha, long time ago did this meditation where he sat under the tree. During the sitting in Vipassana, which is 10 days long, or it can be 7 days long or even longer, you will sit and 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 sit, and there will be always content arising inside of this contraption or architecture that we call my being. So your being is created from space and energy, and there are a lot of patterns, a lot of architectures. So when you sit, you start to understand yourself, because you start to feel the arising of these different previously subconscious architectures, because you don't observe them in your everyday life. And when you sit and sit and sit, they show up, or you feel them in this space of your awareness. You start to feel subconscious content. Now, imagine, or let's use this analogy. If your subconscious was a computer, you have many programs running in that computer. Now, you don't notice these programs because simply you learn to drive a bicycle, you learn to use the smartphone, you learn to drive a car. Now, all of a sudden, you wake up, you take your smartphone, and you're like already like interacting with different chat apps, and all of these needed to be learned behaviors, but now these behaviors are running from your subconscious mind. So you have recorded behavioral patterns throughout your life, especially from when you were born to 7 years old. You're simply assimilating everything that you see, how people talk, and this is automatically being recorded, and patterns of behavior are created in your subconscious. Naturally, when you are going to start doing the meditation, you can sit for years, and there can be many observations of what is happening inside of you. And it's not just that you have these different programs running that you will encounter. You are also a holographic mirror of the universe. So inside of you there are planets, galaxies, Big Bang. Everything that you can think of that you see out there, you can also experience within yourself. In a deeper states of meditation. Now, oftentimes, with Vipassana, you can sit for days and there will be maybe some peak experience, maybe some spiritual experience, something that is kind of psychedelic or multidimensional may show up. And then I haven't heard that very often people actually experience something that's called Samadhi. And this is what I mentioned before, when you experience yourself without reality. So Samadhi, it has a few different kinds of like experiencing Samadhi. And that would be just emptiness of any content. Okay, and I think this is called Nirvakalpa Samadhi or something like that. There could be like infinite white light and just unity, just consciousness and energy, just one infinite energy, one infinite consciousness. People also call this experience I am state of being. They're simply I am, and it's one singular I amness. It's blissful. And so there are a few different versions. As I said, you can experience the negative space, or the negative, the dark matter, emptiness of space. You can experience no space at all. You can experience space filled with energy. Now, I kind of experienced these states of being during some of my earlier meditations or previously psychedelic adventures. But then that became something that I learned in the psychedelic adventures, like I can experience that on my own. And I meditated, and then I experienced everything also in meditation. Now, when I actually tried meditation for the first time, it really wasn't working for me, because I was looking for something that is the peak experience, because I was looking for the truth. I was looking for God, and now everybody will tell you that you are God, but it's kind of like hard to sit within your body with all these programs that come from your subconscious, and still it's content. And I wasn't very patient. I could sit for an hour, for 3 hours, sometimes then I can go in some state of expansion. It wasn't happening for me. And so I smoked DMT, poof, it happened. Did mushrooms, poof, it happened. And after sitting with DMT, I learned, okay, so this is actually inside of me, but there is a different way to unlock this experience, which is not simply sitting. Okay, so with just sitting, you may never get to this peak experience, and you know, the lowest is the highest and the highest is the lowest. So to call it peak, it just means that it's like the final truth. Okay, and so beyond the final truth, there are also more experiences that just simply connect you to different universes or different dimensions or different space-time bubbles and architecture constructs, so you can experience yourself in different realities. But let's say that the emptiness is the baseline. It's like the hyperspace. When people in Star Wars, they use this hyperspace to go beyond the speed of light and just travel from one space-time bubble where their spaceship is inside of the universe. They use some kind of like a wormhole, and then they appear in a different, completely different area. Okay, so that's what the quantum baseline is, or I call it the 0 point, or you can call it the subdimensional place where there is only pure awareness. And so it's not, the consciousness is not actually projected into any dimension where you experience this. So let's say if you use this subspace, you can change channels of reality. First of all, you will see that already different timelines, different quantum potentials that are rendered as your movie are being edited in your first-person experience. So you are already time traveling, or you're already creating quantum jumps through space-time simply by living your everyday life. There will be different timeline potentials that are edited into your movie. Now, you can take this even further, where you can change the planet. You can completely change the game. Let's say if the God mind was a server, if the universe was a server, there are many space-time bubbles, there are many different games. You can experience yourself going into a different reality. Let's say a different life, let's say a past life, let's say a future life, let's say even a different universe altogether. And in this universe, it might be completely different than this human reality. It may be filled with beings like that, or it may be like that we are Shrek. Okay, like Shrek people from Shrek, the movie Shrek, the cartoon. Everything that you see in reality of pop culture, like the Jedis and Shreks and many other fantasy beings that are present in like video games and movies, they're actually created by humans that are tapping into these different spheres, these different dimensions of reality. In the infinite sphere of reality, everything exists, so we're only streamlining and remixing these worlds. And as we also write stories and create movies and TV shows in this dimension, that is quantumly affecting those realities and kind of like creating. So let's say you would write a novel as a human, imagining a lot of stuff that just you saw here and there. You visited places on Earth, and then you got different inspirations that came to you, and you mix it all up and you create a novel. And in this novel, let's say there are different animals or fruits and races of people that live in different worlds. Now, the material that you are constructing here, because you are God, will actually spawn new types of fruit on another planet. Okay, let's say Shrek planet didn't have banana, strawberry, pineapple mix that is called Pinana berry. and then you mix it up, and all of a sudden there will be like a quantum reverberation, and in the Shrek planet there will be a tree that starts like giving this fruit. And then like Mr. Shrek and Lady Shrek, they go in a supermarket and they see, okay, there's a banana berry in the supermarket, and they were like, where is this from? Oh, it's from another continent on the Shrek planet, we just imported it. And I go, okay, cool, and they eat it, and it's a fantastic new fruit that didn't exist before, but maybe I just created that for Mr. Shrek, which is you in a different dimension, right? Because that is you, this is you, every other talking head in every other universe is you. One same consciousness experiencing itself from many, 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 many beings. You're a snail, you're a rabbit, you're an ant, you're a bee, you're a bird, you're everything. Okay, so talking about then going into hyperspace, well, I realized there's a faster way to do it, and the way that we write novels and create movies, we don't need to actually go outside of this first-person immersion and outside of the space-time bubble and outside of this reality. We can simply sit with a notebook or a computer, and we can channel the inspiration that is coming through our pineal gland. It's like third eye is antenna that is connecting you to all of these spaces. Your heart is also connecting you to all of these people and spaces through just unity or love. We call it love in our human experience. Okay, so there's this unity console, which is your chakra that connects you with everything. And then there is this like a little portal chakra where you can streamline different imagery, which we call imagination or inspiration, we can also call it. So you're streamlining actually images from the infinite multiverse. And this is how we make movies. Okay, so one thing would be to actually visit that place, because if you would have to totally get out from this nervous system immersion, and that would entail sitting really calmly and just leaving the thoughts and the actions that are animating my nervous system behind. So nowadays when I meditate, and I rarely do so, but when I do so, it's very effective. Right now I'm streamlining the information from the infinite multiverse, and I'm just explaining the imagery, the images that I'm seeing in our human language. But when I sit to meditate, I will offload my programs and become really interconnected with the emptiness, and then this reality was shut off. It would just like become empty of phenomena that I'm experiencing right now, including my body. Everything would disappear. And so what I've learned, and what I'm sharing also with the world, because I believe this is like a unique experience among many humans that like building amazing stuff. They're building cars and spaceships and hamburgers and whatnot, strawberries, and just having all kind of experience, every experience possible. I found that I had this unique experience that is not simply unique only to me, but it's kind of rare, or it was rare when I tried to explain it to people. Basically, like, I didn't find many people that were having this experience in everyday life. So this is why I decided to share it, because I think it can be much more efficient for you, if you're into spirituality and meditation, to actually figure yourself out. So instead of sitting for 10 days and witnessing all of your programs, there is a way that you just go into the emptiness, and you can leave your programs running, but you turn, like, apps are running on your phone in the background, but you turn off the screen. Okay, so you don't use the phone. So in the same way, you don't need to sit for days and days and days and days doing Vipassana, because you can go into Samadhi experience more directly. Now, this methodology and procedure is explained in my video, so I won't go into details here, but I will link it in the bio so you can go and check it out. Now, the difference of what you might learn in your experience of sitting with your programs is you will get a more detailed overview of your subconscious, and that might be for some people something interesting. I just find it really boring. But still, it's helpful to know yourself, and on another angle, in another perspective, I do sit and write out my programs and just do it in different methodologies that help me to analyze my operating system and defragment or replace aspects of my programming, behavioral patterns, operating systems. I found there a faster way to do this, but learning to sit with it is very good, because if you know how to observe different bandwidths of your subconscious, you kind of need to become familiar with that, so you can intuitively just then call programs into your consciousness, then rewrite them, delete them, do whatever you want with them. So I practice different methods, and now I can do this faster. I will be also publishing a lot of methodologies and courses that you can use. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and maybe follow me on Instagram for daily updates. All of these references are linked below the video. Make sure to check that out if you're interested in this type of stuff. Let me go back into 0 point. Let me go back into your operating system, your programs, and Kundalini energy. So with defragmenting your programming, there's a way that's called Kundalini yoga or Kriya yoga. This is kind of similar practices, a little bit different. I would say Kriya yoga is something that you allow to flow intuitively to you, and then your body is assuming these archetypal postures, and it's really defragmenting your whole operating system. This is orienting to the inner intelligence of your DNA, and your life force, your Shakti, will do this automatically, so you don't need to do it. You also need to be able to step into this specific brain wavelength where the Kriya yoga does itself, or the Kriya does you. Now, many times people that have attained this possibility in the human operating system, they made it a school which is left brain, so it's not really intuitive experiencing. It's more teaching yoga from a book, and then people say, okay, you have this Kriya, and now, I don't know, do this. And then you do this, and then you repeat, okay, what somebody showed you, and then you will have a whole book of different Kriyas or different asanas, and you go by the book. I feel that the automatic Kriya initiation is just something that allows you much more fluidity, because it's almost impossible to master, or the delicacy and the intricacy and the complexity of your human operating system is almost wow, it would take to empirically master it, to empirically study it. It's almost impossible. Nowadays, imagine that before you using your smartphone, which operates in a very intuitive way for you and has an operating system. Imagine that you have to know how actually the smartphone is assembled, and how the internet works, and how the chips work, and how the memory works. So some people are technicians and they know how the computer is built. But you, as a user of this operating system, you don't need to know that. So in the same way, trying to know your body, let's say every organ, every gland, every tissue, every bone. How much bones do I have in my body? I don't even know my bones. Okay, I don't even know my glands, but they work. The glands work, and you wake up and the body works. It just operates. And so it's the same way with my bones. I don't know my bones. So in the same way, I don't know my asanas, but my body does them, so I don't really care what there's a embedded intelligence that is greater than what I see from this framework. So I'm not trying to describe it from my mental framework. See, it's just more usable this way. It's a smartphone. It's a smart avatar. So to be able to activate Kriya, you need to actually open up the flow of your Kundalini life force. Now, here's the thing that is just kind of like a casual warning, and maybe it's going to be a relief for some of you that are experiencing the Kundalini. Kundalini makes you crazy at first. It makes you lose your mind to a sense. Like if you have an abrupt Kundalini awakening or something like that. Now, it's not necessarily that it will make you crazy, but some people find it discomfortable, or something like happens that you just become like a little bit neurotic and blah, 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 blah. You have ADHD or you talk too much, and then this can be misdiagnosed as whatever, ADHD, bipolarity, stuff. Here is the thing, Kundalini energy. It starts to defragment the programs that you installed before and you're not using, or they're outdated. So literally thoughts and emotions that belong to you when you were 7-year-old, 14-year-old, whatever, 20-year-old, and now you're 30, they like are just capturing your RAM memory, capturing your life force, and like they're stuck there, but you're not using them, but you're not aware of what is in your subconscious. So Kundalini starts to run through your body, starts to defragment all this mental, emotional memory. And then if you consciously start to experience that, well, that just feels like you're going crazy. Because it can be random, it can be fragmented content, it can be some shadow content, something that you weren't even aware of because like you didn't identify with that at all. So these like shadow content, they come and it's just like, what is this? What are these voices? What are these emotions? What are these angels? What are these demons in my psyche, right? Now the psyche becomes fluid, and the energetic memory that is the programming of your psyche starts to run through your body. And if you don't have, let's say, awakened master, if you don't have somebody to tell you that this is okay, that this is defragmentation, that you should just like really not give a damn, and if you don't have somebody to show you how to stay grounded in pure awareness and simply dissociate or not identify with this content, then the ego may struggle to accept this content, or the consciousness, ego is just your conscious running one program. Okay, so let me show you this in a virtual mode. So let's say I'm a savage. So if this is my egoic identification, right? If this is something that's my like everyday human character, and this is my job, I'm a savage on Instagram. I lift weights and I'm like flexing muscles and cutting wood, cutting the forest with an axe, and so I'm a lumberjack, right? All of this is beautiful, but like this is not my main identity. Like my main identity is I'm an artist, right? So you can also experience me as a kind of like a shapeshifter. So I like that I can take this content, these programs that are like different emotional beings, different expressions, different words, right? And I can flow with them, right? Because I allow them to, be experienced. And I can even like become very dark and be something that will shock people on YouTube and do just like that. I'm a demon. I'm a wolf that will eat your little bones and just chew them up and stuff, right? So that's very... Actually, that makes a lot of people afraid. This startles a lot of people. So I don't do that in a restaurant to strangers, right? But I can do it to my friends that kind of like know that this is a joke. So there are appropriate roles, like, you know, and this is our conditioning and societal conditioning, that we have appropriate roles. But if we live under the societal conditioning all life long, and every day we habitually repeat one identity, now something from this unknown energetic memory that was kept in the subconscious, some repressed parts of our psyche, start to show up, and they can feel like agitation. They can feel like something dark, there's something that does not belong in my emotions, something does not belong in my brain, something that does not belong to me. But the truth is, everything in the universe belongs to you. You are the wolf, you're the dragon, you're the butterfly, you're the rabbit. As I said, you're everything. You're the demons, you're the angels. They're just like different... every profession in the universe, okay, whether you're like somebody who's cleaning the streets, you know, cleaning our streets, thank you so much, taking away the garbage, somebody who's recycling the garbage, somebody who's a professor, somebody who's a demon, somebody who's a destroyer, somebody who's like a professional, UFC fighter, right, angel. It's all a different room in the God mind that has a purpose, okay? So everybody has a purpose. And even demons, they have a purpose, and snakes, they have a purpose, and butterflies, they have a purpose. So everything is an aspect of you. And as I've said, in this human avatar, every planet, galaxy, star, and the infinite everything is contained within your little human toy, okay? So inside of your subconscious is a crazy mad genius. That can be Dostoevsky, that can be Mozart, that can be Maria Curie, that can be, I don't know, like Selena Williams. Like, there's all of these like characters are there in potentiality, and they're all created in this expression of the universe, in this universal bubble, from 12 basic archetypes that you know from your astrology, or you know from your every pantheon of gods that was ever mentioned in this or previous civilizations. So just by remixing these 12, you know, the creator, the destroyer, and all the little planets in between, you get every single different cocktail of human beingness. And every little being or sub-being in your psyche, there are a lot of like, we all have multiple personalities. We can either have, not like in a movie where they're disintegrated, and then there's like, like, now I'm like a killer, rapist, maniac, and then tomorrow I'm like a positive person that just goes to work and like types on a keyboard and drinks their coffee, and I don't remember anything. So that's creepy, right? But there is also the integration in the awareness of these like aspects. And yeah, to be honest, like, even for me, it's like, I had a Kundalini awakening a long time ago, but even in this stage that I've been like living with this life force, and like I have to dance and I have to create a lot of expression to actually express all of these like different potentiality of what this universe, this microverse inside of me is able to express. So even now, I will have little parts of my psyche that I just like didn't get a chance to express. I have to write a lot, I have to create a lot of art. I have to really get this energy to move in every kind of way possible. So I was talking about somebody who's having like an everyday savage life, and then they experience like a more feminine influence from their psyche, which is just like, hey, I'm Venus, I'm so sensual, and to somebody who was living like an everyday reality to the point they become habitual and then conditioned, even that like I believe, my awareness believes that I'm just this role, awakening to my feminine side might feel like a little bit weird. Then awakening to your lumberjack side, well, like if I'm an artist and I'm awakening to I just want to cut wood, I'm like, this is not me. Why do I want to cut wood all day long? I feel so good cutting wood with an axe. I'm like, okay, I'll just accept that aspect of me and integrate it. And this is the power of fluidity, of your chi, of your kundalini, of your shakti, of your life force, whatever you want to call it, when it's moving freely. It can also just burn your karma, which simply means, burn your karma means defragment your programs, okay? Because when you have a lot of old programs, they're manifesting your reality, but then you experience looping. Looping is like, every day is the same, and then your soul is getting like, bro, it's getting stagnant here, and I'm bored. And then you're becoming like depressed in a loop, but the loop is creating a confirmation bias, so you're re-looping. Your confirmation bias keeps updating your reality, projecting the same loop, and you end up in a karmic loop. So we say, okay, karma, we're looping in karma, we want to go up. Where? To the next cycle. So that means defragmenting or recycling the programs and upgrading your operating system. Putting new applications in, learning something new, acquiring something new. You can acquire through meditation, inspirations from higher realms, or you can just go be practical inside of your everyday reality and learn new stuff. So the power of your life force being fluid is that you can defragment your karma, your programming. Then if you're defragmenting your programming and you don't know what is up, it's like your personality is an operating system, but now it's getting updated and defragmenting, but you're trying to use it. It's like you're trying to drive a car while the car is at the mechanic, and like they took the wheels off and they're repairing and tuning up everything, but you're still trying to drive the car, and the car is not working now, right? So you have to sit and rest and allow the transformation of your operating system, your OS upgrade, to be finished. Then you can use your smartphone again, and you can use your car when the wheels are back in place and everything is functioning, and it feels like a new car. It feels like a better car. It feels like a really nice ride, okay? So yeah, this is why Kundalini may feel crazy, because what we call crazy, what we call madness, is when things stop making sense to us. But if you have been a person using these programs installed into your subconscious and you're rewriting who you are, you can't expect the same linear logic to be applied. You have to let go of that, recycle, be rebirthed, and then you can drive again. So, to conclude, great effects with sitting in Vipassana for observing what's happening in your operating system, and just also find ways to relax with whatever is there. If you want to process your operating system faster, defragment, update, there are faster ways. If you want to time travel, space travel, boost up your intuition, your multidimensional knowing, there are faster ways. If you want to experience Samadhi, is like this self-realization, because you don't remember that since you incarnated, you don't have that in your human memory, that is completely outside of your human first-person immersion. You were pure consciousness, you were God before you come into, before you as awareness project yourself into this architecture, this setup where you experience yourself as human, and you are always that, because that is outside of this space-time bubble. But if you want to like get reminded, then you need to exit this, go there, and so on. Okay, I hope this video is helpful. 40 minutes. Is anyone gonna watch all this stuff? I hope so.